Francis Ngannou has been one of the biggest MMA sensations for a while, knocking out the majority of his opponents in the octagon and showing great potential to become a UFC superstar. But the Predator's rising streak didn't last long. At the UFC 226's heavyweight matchup between Ngannou and Derrick Lewis, Francis went on to show his worst performance yet, losing by unanimous decision in one of the most boring fights in UFC history. During the press conference after the event, UFC President Dana White didn't hesitate to criticize and trash-talk Francis, saying the fighter rose up too quickly, and as a result of this, his ego got out of hand.
Horrible. I think that, he had a pretty quick rise here, and obviously the fight over Alistair Overeem, catapulted him. Everybody was talking about him. I thought he was going to be the next guy. I think his ego ran away with him big time. I can tell you that his ego absolutely did run away with him. And the minute that happens to you in the fight game, you see what happens. You start to fall apart. I had some personal encounters with him, as did other people in the organization. And this guy's ego just was so out of control. It's like before the Stipe fight, he took off and went to France. Didn't even really train for that fight. And you see the results. Well, then he comes back and he did train, but ego is what hurt Francis Ngannou.
Dana seemed pretty upset with Francis's performance, particularly since he didn't say anything bad about his opponent, Derrick Lewis, who, even though he won the fight, also showed one of the worst performances in his career. After the fight ended, even Derrick himself expressed he wasn't happy with his performance and believed his stock dropped for sure. But White didn't agree with that.
I don't agree that his stock dropped. And that's a problem that he's going to have. He's a fun guy. He's funny. When he gets in there and throws, the fights are exciting.
Fernando Lopez, Ngannou's coach, after hearing what Dana White had to say about his fighter, agreed completely with the UFC boss. He confirmed that Francis had a big ego problem and that he himself suffered a lot when Francis lost. The only thing I can say is Dana was speaking about Francis' ego as probably one of the truths that I witnessed that Dana White said. It's probably the only truth that I know for a fact. That's a fact. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because Ngannou is like a brother for me. And when you're dealing with a brother, problems with your brother, you have to be honest with your brother so he can be a better man. In order to make Francis a better man, there are some people that have to have the bad role. The bad job is to tell Ngannou, you have a big ego and you have changed with the time. That's the truth. I had the conversation with Ngannou, and I said to him, you've changed, my friend. You have changed. You're not the same anymore. Your ego is killing you, and it's just about your ego. That's the thing. Like myself, I got hurt with a lot of dedication to Francis' career. I got hurt a lot. When Francis lost the fight with Stipe, no one ever heard Francis say he lost because he didn't follow the game plan. He did the opposite of the game plan that we worked. That loss for Francis, for the belt, had a huge impact for him, but also myself and my gym. What do you think about what Dana White and Fernando Lopez said about Francis Ngannou? Did his ego get to his head? Or is it simply just not the best moment in his career? Let us know what you think about this in the comments section. Cody Garbrandt was supposed to fight Daveison Figueiredo in a title match on November 21st, 2020. But since Cody tested positive for COVID-19, the fight didn't happen. Still, Cody was confident he was eventually going to fight Figueiredo in March of 2021. Cody posted a video on social media explaining the withdrawal of the Figueiredo fight, saying the virus caused him a bicep tear and other inconveniences.
I tested positive for COVID a few months ago and wasn't able to train MMA for about a month and a half. Kept my weight low, that's why I've been cycling a lot just to keep the conditioning up. I got back in MMA training about a little over 2 weeks ago. So I just thought my bicep was sore. Injury was right here in my arm. Just from training, it hasn't had the MMA load. I've been cycling a lot, doing strength and conditioning. Keep my diet really clean and healthy. I've been waking up at 141, so my weight's been good. So like I said, I thought my arm was sore for about 2 weeks just from getting back into MMA, hard training. Obviously was 7 weeks out from the fight. So then Monday, I went to strength and conditioning, trained, finished with some bag work. My arm was a little tight, thought nothing of it. Came back 2-3 hours later to work with my striking coach, Michael Malott. Had a great pad session then. Obviously it was still tight and sore. Later on throughout that night, the evening, throbbing pain, kind of just was more sore than usual. So I put some CBD cream on it. I woke up at 2 in the morning, like excruciating pain. My bicep was really swollen up off to the side.
But after his recuperation, something happened in Cody's mind, because for some reason, Garbrandt had shifted his attention to retired former double champ Henry Cejudo. Cody Garbrandt mocked Cejudo on social media because of Henry's recent breakup with his girlfriend, who was known to be a reason for Cejudo's retirement. Cody also mocked Henry, saying he retired in his prime because he was scared to face his opponents, calling him a coward. The world's most eligible bachelor, at Henry Cejudo, a self-proclaimed king that retired as a coward before his time was up. Stay retired for your own good. Savages are on the rise in both divisions. Long live the coward. Henry, however, did not ignore the matter. He responded to Cody and to Figueiredo, who also previously had shown his desire to fight the retired champ. Hey, Cody Garbrandt, wait in line. Looks like the #RentsChamp still misses me more. Daveison Figueiredo, if you can tell me in English, I may consider it. But until then, go get hooked on phonics. Cejudo caught Cody's attention immediately with this response. Later on, Garbrandt responded with this challenge. Why do we need to wait for March 6th? I gave you the date, you picked a weight. I don't give a fuck about the title. If you proclaim yourself the king, then don't be a coward. Don't run away when you're in your prime. The biggest fights lay ahead. Henry Cejudo responded with a final tweet saying that Cody was just an appetizer for the main course, referring to Figueiredo. My legacy is written and will never be broken. You are what I call an appetizer before the main course. You simply have no juice for me, playboy. Stay up. Keep that chin nice and strong for me. What do you think about Cody calling Henry a coward? Do you think Henry will come back to fight both Garbrandt and Figueiredo? Drop your opinion in the comments section. Khabib Nurmagomedov defended his lightweight title, dominating Conor McGregor back in UFC 229. However, Conor McGregor was coming into that fight after a long break from MMA. Even Conor himself admitted he committed a lot of mistakes during training that he shouldn't have. After his impressive match against Donald Cerrone, UFC fans can't help but hope that a focused Conor could beat the best lightweight in the world, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Dana White said that if Khabib beats Tony Ferguson, then Conor versus Khabib too is next in line. Khabib was asked about the rematch in a press conference in Russia. Let's see what he had to say. Khabib was then asked if he would fight Conor for $100 million.
Спорт следим, а после этого платят, если денег не хватило. А так там мне 100 миллионов дало, чтобы я опять этого придурка побил, я думаю, что это не расходится.
What do you think about what Khabib said? Who do you think would win in a rematch between Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov? Let us know in the comments what your opinion is. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to punch that like button. Also subscribe for more MMA news.